Let's get started. It is Meet the Cardinals night, and my name is Teresa. I'm going to be moderating today, but mostly I'm just going to be handing the microphone off to our awesome students. The purpose of tonight is to find out what it's like to be a student at North Idaho College. How does college fit into your schedule? Our competitive programs, what is it like to get into those? Our career technical education programs, what's it like to have a hands-on education? Some of our students live on campus, some of our students live at home, and it's going to be fun to kind of learn how everybody navigates the college experience just a little bit differently.
My name is Gray. This is my second year here at NIC. I'm currently in the education program. I plan on going into secondary education and becoming a high school English teacher. I'll be graduating in the spring, and I plan on moving on to University of Idaho to finish up my degree. I am a student ambassador here on campus, which means I give tours. I am a resident assistant at the dorms, which means I aid in any of the residence problems that they have while living in the dorms. And I am on student events board, which puts on events for the whole entire campus for students to get involved in.
And that's why I got this job in student union, was to be able to be a part of that community. And I like it so far. So.
My second semester of the nursing program, and this is my third semester at NIC. I'm a mom of two little girls, 5 and 6, and I also work part-time in the science department.
I've been here for almost just around 2 years. This is my third semester, or well, if you're counting summers, a couple more than that, but I got 1 semester to go in my AA degree, and I'm a dual credit student through Post Falls High School. So really, I've just been gone full-time at NIC for the last 2 years, and I'm coming to a close of my program. I am a student government representative. I'm the dual credit representative there, and I've been loving that. And I do a part-time job as a barista as well. So I keep busy, but I really enjoy going to NIC.
This is my first year out at Parker, but this is actually like my third year with NIC. I got my general associates, and then I decided I wasn't done. And so I just went out to Parker, and I'm in the welding program.
Tell us about your chosen program. Is it relevant and is it engaging?
But the program has been fantastic. The challenges that I thought would be challenging have been challenging, but I think NIC has a very caring approach to their rigorous academic system. You know, I mean, you learn to change within the environment that you are in, right? And the teachers are there and help you through it immensely. They open themselves up, and really just as long as you chase after them, they'll give you their expert advice there. So.
Most of my classes are actually music classes, and so I take a lot of like the same classes, like the same people that are majoring in the same thing, and it's kind of cool because at first I didn't think I was going to be as close as I am to them, because it's a little bit of a smaller class, which is a really good thing for me personally. But I did end up growing super close to my peers and my colleagues, which I'm very grateful about. And yeah, I feel like the teachers are very willing to see you succeed, and they honestly take a lot of time out of their day to make sure you're understanding what you're being taught.
It's definitely different. It is way different than campus school. You know, it's funny because when you say relevancy, I spend so little of there's literally an hour of my day maybe that I spend with a textbook, and other than that, I'm in my booth and I'm burning rods and just welding like for hours. And it is interesting because, there's the theory behind it, as in why it works, which is important, but they definitely emphasize the hands-on experience out there. You're doing it.
I'm specifically going into secondary English education, which means I take a lot of English-oriented classes. And I'm surprised at how modern my materials feel. You can obviously take like historical classes, like I took an American literature class that went back to the 1800s and stuff. But the classes that are genre-based, so like my fiction class, we only read works that have been published in the last like 3 years. It's insane. I didn't think that it'd be that relevant. And my teachers are always bringing it into like modern subjects, and we're talking about how it affects the world. And honestly, just my classes constantly make me feel like I'm so validated in the subject matter that I'm going into. It was insane when I went to my first class, and it felt like I was actually learning, and it was something I loved to learn about. It was completely different from high school. I feel like I kind of drifted through high school a lot, but I'm so engaged here at NIC, and I'm so in love with the subject matter I'm going into, and my professors just make it come to life with their lectures. I didn't think that was possible. I thought I'd be falling asleep, but instead I'm like on the edge of my seat and I can't wait to hear more. It's a really great feeling.
First off, nursing program is obviously quite a time commitment. Sometimes you'll have weeks where you have multiple assignments due, plus your clinical, and you might have a test to study for. The material is not necessarily super complex, but most tests you'll have 4 or 5 subjects that you are going over and testing on that week. So usually the first few weeks of school, depending on which semester you're on, you will have afternoon labs once a week, plus your lecture day. It's usually 1 day of lecture. I think one semester might have 2 days. After your labs, where you learn your critical skills, are complete, then you start your clinicals. And your clinicals are once a week. And your first semester clinicals, I believe, were 8 hours. Second semester, it's a little longer. And then by third semester, you start doing 12-hour clinicals so that you can get used to like a regular 12-hour workday. And so that's once a week. The instructors have been really available and helpful for all the students. So
North Idaho College has many academic and wellness resources. Which one is your favorite?
Writing Center for sure. They do like free paper checks through professors, and it just helps me write all of my papers. Amazing.
Also going to have to go with the Writing Center. Not only do they offer copy, but it's free printing, and that's a lifesaver. So that's fantastic.
The Center for New Directions, that has been extremely helpful for me, especially in my position. And Kathy Albin is the best. She's the best. It's for non-traditional students. So anybody that's kind of out of their element. And pretty much just whatever you need help with, Center for New Directions is there. Like, you literally walk in with any problem and they will help you, whether it's financial or just directional or just someone to talk to. Even if you just need a shoulder to cry on, they're there.
I have to agree with Athena. Kathy is awesome. Center for New Directions has helped me out in multiple ways. They helped cover my copay for my daycare, and Kathy's just been awesome to talk to whenever I need help on campus. And also the NIC Scholarship Foundation has also been really helpful to me as well.
Just say the library, because I find myself sometimes kind of distracted at my house doing homework, so to have a quiet place to read or study or whatever, or even like type an essay is like really helpful. So yeah.
Jill, NIC's nursing program is high quality and very competitive. What is the entrance process like?
There's a lot of prerequisites that need to be taken before you get in. You have science classes, and then you just have your general education classes. And if you want to do well, it'll help your chances of getting in. So NIC is a little bit unique to some of the schools in the area, the admission process, and which is a big reason why I chose NIC. They actually work on a point system, and certain determining factors give you more points than others, such as having a bachelor's degree, having experience working with individuals like patient care, direct patient care, or getting certain grades for certain classes. And I really liked the point system because it kind of gave me a little bit more security. I could talk to the advisors about the points and say, they might tell me, well, the average to get in is, 75 or 79 points. So I could kind of gauge where I was at in the admission process. And from there, I could decide whether or not I felt like I needed to work towards gaining more points. And it kind of helped me feel a little bit more secure in my admission. You have to really manage your time well. When we had our orientation to the nursing program, they told us to make sure you have a good, reliable babysitter and to have a backup for that babysitter. And I found that especially true. And I've found with COVID, you want to have at least one backup for your backup because you just never know what's going to happen, especially with, COVID. We've had a lot of last minute changes, new things put on our schedule just a few weeks ahead of time. So you really just want to make sure that you have somebody reliable that can help you out. I'm also a single parent. So in my case, it's my mom, who's also homeschooling my daughter this year since we live in Washington. So she's been a huge help for me. And I don't know how I would have been able to do that without her. But the biggest thing that I found with the nursing program is just managing your time well. If you have a slower point in the semester, try to get anything done that you can, because once everything hits you at once, it's going to feel a lot better to know that you're done with this major project rather than having to work on it while you're trying to finish everything else and study for your finals.
Athena, tell us more about NIC's Parker Technical Education Center in Rathdrum.
Out at Parker, they have a diesel program, automotive, they have the 3D printing, they have machining, they have millwright, they have collision, and of course welding. And I got my associates from NIC, and it was fantastic. It was an amazing experience. I loved every second of it, but I was just looking for a little bit of a different challenge, I guess you could say. So I kind of just threw a dart at the Parker map, and somehow I landed on welding and just kind of went for it. And thankfully, I really love it, but I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Things are a lot calmer at Parker. We're a little bit more of an intimate group. There's not downtown Coeur d'Alene that surrounds us. We're out in some industrial farmland area. So already it's a more laid back environment. And with Parker, K-Tech is literally the only thing that's really by it. So it's more of a welcoming little vibe. It's its own little entity out there.
Jameson, tell us more about your experience as a high school dual credit student on the NIC campus.
Well, the first day on campus, I was super nervous. I would even describe it shell-shocked, right? And I was excited. I had just become a junior in high school, so that was crazy. And I was no longer going to high school, all this wacky stuff. So I went into chemistry, and the lecture pace was just fast enough to where I felt like I finally at my own pace, and it was great. After the initial anxieties wore off, just being at a new campus, it was smooth sailing from there. Obviously, you got some bumps in the road, but some of that stuff you just can't control. But a lot of that, super helpful, super fun. And I love the fast pace that comes with being on campus.
Jameson, you're also involved in NIC's student government. How did that come about?
My speech teacher or my professor reached out to me, and he was like, listen, man, I think you'd be really great for student government. They're needing for people, and I think you'd be a great fit. So I looked at it, I looked over it, and I thought that I really wanted to be a positive change in the campus. I mean, so much of it is already fantastic, but I wanted to get a more social experience, a more, just have a little bit more sway in the college campus. And it so far has been fantastic. The group we got going on there loves the campus and is super helpful to everybody. So definitely feel supported moving through that.
Great. NIC has a residence hall where you are a resident advisor. What's it like to live on campus?
It's so nice to be like right in the middle of campus. Everything is within like a 5-minute walk. Even if I want to like go to the beach, that's 5 minutes away. It's crazy that I can just walk there. Or even walking downtown, that's like a 20-minute walk, and then I can just go peruse the shops. It's really cool. And being in the middle of it really helps me to get involved. I feel like if I was off campus, I would be less inclined to actually like be a part of it. But here I can have 3 jobs, and all of my jobs are like a 2-minute walk away from where I live. So it's super easy to just be a part of things. And I think that's a huge part of the college experience, is getting involved on campus. So here has a lot of like energy. People are really excited to come here. I don't know if it's because we're like right next to a lake or something, but the spirit here is just way better than I thought it would be. I thought, we have like cold winters and everyone was going to hunker down and be grumpy, but we're not. Everyone's always like getting involved in things and bringing all of their energy to it, which is really exciting. People they're just like really looking to have a good time here, and they're making it happen, which is cool. They're not like relying on, other people to like do it. They're out here forging their own like future and making it as good as they can. It's an awesome energy on campus, and it keeps my spirits up. The fact that everyone around me is typically pretty happy, and even through tough times like COVID, everyone's still keeping that good mood, and we're trying to get through it together. Like all of our mottos are like, we're in this together, that kind of thing. And I think it really does show in our student body how connected we all feel to one another.
Ashley, as a new student, what was your first impression of North Idaho College?
I actually moved here in March, and that was like the very first thing I did was actually take an NIC tour, and I was like astounded how beautiful it was. That was my very first impression. Now for classes, I think I would say, because of COVID being more flexible in a sense, I really appreciated that aspect of it, if that makes sense. Meaning like I said before, how available the teachers were and how willing and how kind the teachers were. And not just the teachers, but like my friends and my colleagues as well that I met within the class have really provided that thing I needed the most in my education, I would say. So yeah, I really enjoyed the music, me being in music, and yeah, I'm excited to see where it takes me. After I go to class, I go straight to work. So I don't have like that gap or anything of like, oh, I don't know what to do or whatever. So I have like a set schedule, which I'm very grateful to have because I don't know what I would be doing without it. And yeah, it works out perfectly. I like being engaged with the students there, and just helping in any capacity that I can. With any questions that they come to me about.
What tip would all of you share with new students?
I would say probably just have fun, enjoy your time. It doesn't last forever, and you just gotta enjoy it, especially when you're at NIC. It's beautiful.
I'd say lean into the people around you, specifically your professors, and the amount of resources you have on NIC. It's crazy, and I didn't know about it before I got into student government, but y'all got tons of stuff. And the professors have expertise in their classes, as they should, but they are willing to help you if you come to them. And a lot of students don't take enough advantage of that.
I was also going to recommend the resources, because there are so many resources here at North Idaho College. And if you learn what resources are available, then I guarantee there's something out there that can help you. But I also would recommend, as I kind of mentioned earlier, don't procrastinate with your work. It's really easy to fall behind, and you will find that towards the end of the semester, everything is getting piled on at once. And so you have a lot of due dates. So just figure out what you have due. Don't wait till the last minute, and that way you have more time to work on it.
Come prepared, and yeah, you never know what could go wrong. So, I mean, as far as like assignments go and stuff, you just want to be prepared, and make sure if you need to study. If you're tired, take a nap. Like, just do what you think is necessary, and really, and like I said before, just be on top of your work. And if you have any questions too, don't be afraid to ask them, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just learn from them and do your best. So
and letting them get to know you is going to be your biggest asset here at NIC, because they really want to see you succeed, and they'll be your biggest fans if you just let them in and you talk to them, that kind of thing. They're the nicest people in the world, and they just want to see us, succeed and get through their classes well and absorb that knowledge and actually use it in our lives. So if you just talk to them and you get to know them, they'll do the same thing in return, and it'll be a great benefit.
Last question. Share with us your favorite part of North Idaho College.
So there's a lot, but I think a lot of people have mentioned this before, but those resources do come in handy a lot, and just knowing what you want and knowing what your goal is everything. And yeah, I think those resources are why I decided to come to NIC. Because not a lot of colleges have those, so yeah.
The part of NIC, I don't know. Now, I think that part of it is it's one of the last times that you can kind of have guidance and have help, and just be a student and have help. Just have somebody, there for you no matter what. You've always got somebody to help you out at NIC.
My favorite part about being at NIC is probably the campus. Not only are the grounds well kept, but the amount of lesser known or unused places on the campus are just keep my adventurous spirit alive. Love walking the campus and seeing just different spots around that are fun to hang out in and nobody's ever in them. So that's always really neat. And discovering new things the study rooms in the Armand building. I didn't even know that they had those. But
I really love the amount of support I've received as a student, and I enjoy being a part of a program that has a really great reputation in the community. Everywhere I go and I tell people I'm a part of the NIC nursing program, they tell me how great of a program is and how much they love the students that come from that program that come to work with them.
So in love with what I'm doing here, and I was a little bit unsure about going into education when I started, but kind of like I said earlier, every single day I feel like it's reinforcing that this is genuinely what I want to do with the rest of my life, and that's a crazy feeling. I didn't know there was one thing I wanted to do with the rest of my life, but apparently it's teach, and NIC has taught me that. There's nothing I would give up for that kind of experience.
Cool. Well, thank you all so much. I'm sure that everybody viewing this can see exactly why we chose the students that we did, such diverse backgrounds, different ways of navigating the college experience, doing so right out of high school or while you're still in high school or while you have a family, and navigating one of our most competitive, difficult programs, coming back to college after completing a degree. Lots and lots of different paths that you can take to get to your ultimate goal. So thank you so much for watching today, and thank you so much for our students for taking the time out of your incredibly busy schedules to help others find North Idaho College. Thank you all so much.